Hello guys. This is gonna be a different type of video. I'm holding Prince. He's asleep. He's been coughing a lot today. I think he might be getting his first little cold. And so he's just been coughing and hanging out with mom. So wanting to be held. Which I'm loving it because he's so independent, or at least he tries to be. So it's like he doesn't usually want me to like baby him. So I'm loving the fact that he just wants to be in my arms all day today. But this video is going to be my pregnancy story, and just kind of like how we found out, and yeah. So I remember it was August 30th. And I had been feeling bad for like a week or two. Not really like nauseous, morning sickness, like pregnancy symptoms, but just like stomach aches. Like I have ovarian cyst. That's something that you guys can look up, or if you have it, please comment below. Just because I like to be able to relate to people who have what I have, because it's easy for people to say, "Oh, I'm so sorry. I understand what you're going through," but they don't have ovarian cyst, so they don't know what I'm going to, or like they're not able to relate on that personable level. But anyway, so were thinking that the pains that I was feeling was from my ovarian cyst. So yeah, like we didn't really think much of it. I had an ovarian cyst rupture in 2013, and I was told that I wouldn't be able to have children. So that was it. We wanted him, like we wanted a child, like we were planning a child, but we didn't know if it would actually happen. Which I'm a firm believer. I always have been, but especially now, I'm a firm believer that doctors can tell you one thing, but God can make anything possible. FDR. That wasn't cute, but I'm holding the phone in one hand and my other hand's holding Prince, so I couldn't really cover my mouth. But yeah, so I had my this is gonna be weird. I don't know who's all gonna watch this. But I had my nipples pierced. I mean, I'm grown, so it's not like I'm ashamed of it. They're not pierced anymore, but anyway, I had my nipples pierced, and so I had told my son's dad, I was like, and I had them pierced for like months before we found out we were pregnant. And so I was telling my son's dad, I was like, my nipples hurt really, really bad. Like I feel like they are about to fall off. Like it was bad, y'all. And he was like, well, why don't we take them out? So I was like, okay. So he literally had to take them out for me because, y'all, the pain was just like horrible. So he took my nipple piercings out, and I was still feeling like really bad. And they say, your boobs are one of the first things that start to like change once you get pregnant. So he was like, why don't we just take the pregnancy test? And I didn't really want to take it because, not that I didn't want to be pregnant, but I didn't want to take it because, like I said, we wanted our son. We tried for him, and we had, wanted him to be a part of our lives. But like I said, I was told I couldn't have kids. So we've taken like so many pregnancy tests, and they had come back negative. And so like I just didn't really want to take it and see another negative, because that's heartbreaking. For those of you who have been told you cannot have kids and you seriously have not had a child, I can relate in a sense of we tried. Granted, I know people have tried for years. We started trying in April of 2016, and we found out we were pregnant in August. And so we took so many pregnancy tests, and they were all coming back negative, and it was depressing. And so I was like, you know what? I was like, well, I guess I'll take it. So we went in the bathroom. I was living in a dorm. I still currently go to North Carolina Central University, which is in Durham, North Carolina. And I had a roommate. So my son's dad and I, we went in the bathroom in my dorm. I had a bathroom in my room. So we went in the bathroom. Here comes another yawn. We went in the dorm bathroom, and we took a pregnancy test. And I remember I was sitting on the toilet. He had rolled in one of the little desk chairs. And I took the pregnancy test, and it was one of the ones where you pee into like a cup. Sorry, y'all. My dad called, and with this iPhone, if somebody calls, it like stops the video. But like I was saying, my pregnancy test was the one where you had to like pee into a cup, and then it came with a little dropper, and you're supposed to put 3 drops of urine on the pregnancy test. So I put the little 3 drops, and we sat there for a second. Neither one of us looked at it, and then I don't think nobody looked at it first. Like, I think we looked at it at the same time, or maybe no. I think I looked at it first, and I was like shocked, and I think like he was like no way, because like we've taken so many pregnancy tests, they always came back negative. So then he looked at it, and his face was like. So we got up and we went to Walmart. Yeah, I don't know why I'm so tired. It's 7:11, but I'm such a mom. Like, I don't do anything. I sleep when he sleeps, and as y'all can tell, he's napping. So I guess my body's like, you should be napping too. Um, but anyway, we went to Walmart and we got one of the clear blue ones, because he was like, the one that I had probably wasn't the most accurate, because it had came from the Dollar Tree, which I've later found out that Dollar Tree pregnancy tests are one of the like most accurate, and a lot of people use them and trust them, which, hey, mom was right. Um, but we got one of the clear blue ones from Walmart. And we literally took it in the Walmart bathroom. Like, it wasn't something that could wait. So we took the little clear blue test. And when we took the test, it said the words pregnant. And it was like, and so we went back to my dorm and we went to bed. And that next morning we got up and we went to the health department downtown. And I took a pregnancy test, and the lady came back, and she was like, congratulations, you guys are expecting. And I literally, like, boo-hoo cried. Like, I prayed for him for so long. I wanted a child for so long. It started off, I wanted a sibling when I was younger. But my parents are old when they had me, and so it was like one of those things where it was like, you can ask for it all you want, but they weren't giving me a sibling. So then that want for a sibling turned into like a want for a child, which I used to want a puppy, and I'm pretty sure if my parents would have got me the puppy. But no, but seriously though, I prayed for him for so long, so I literally like boohoo cried. His dad was just ecstatic. Like, we didn't know it was a boy yet, so that's not why he was happy. But his dad was just lit. Like, oh my gosh, this is the best day ever. So we go home, and it's like when you first find out you're pregnant, you're still the same size. Well, for the most part. I found out about this one girl. She found out when she was like 20 something weeks. I don't know how there's a show like I didn't know I was pregnant. I don't know how people don't know. But when you first get pregnant, you look the same. You might have like morning sickness, but like overall your physical being is the same. He was getting hot. My nose is itching. My dad cut the grass today, so it's like my allergies. But and like I said, Princeton's sick, so I might be getting a cold. It's just not good, y'all. But yeah, so I went to the health department. She said, yeah, we were all happy. So but like I said, when you leave, like, when you first find out you're pregnant, you still look the same. So it's just like, oh, I have to be careful and I have to eat this, that, and the third. And it's like, you come into like this like you start reading books and downloading apps and stuff. It's like literally you find out you're pregnant, and it's just like your whole life changes like right then. All your bad habits and bad ways stop, and all that good stuff changes. Well, for most moms anyway, and that's a really good thing. I was never really like a super partier. I've been in school, it's my junior year, and I've never been to a club in Durham. That's just not my lifestyle. That's not what we do. We, me and his dad, like we just hang out together, Netflix and chilling. um, but yeah, so then the next day, I made an appointment with my OBGYN because I was thinking I could get an ultrasound. And I have ovarian cysts, like I said. And so I was worried or concerned that the cyst might have some type of effect on the baby. And so I got to see, we got an ultrasound that day and they confirmed I was pregnant too. So it was like literally for 3 days, like the pregnancy test from the Dollar Tree, then the health department, then my OBGYN. And at that point, literally, he was the size, like there was just a sack. There was no baby. Um, and that was scary too. I was only 3 weeks pregnant when we found out. And so it was like, oh, that's something I don't want to do again. Like if I ever have another child, I don't want to find out till I'm like 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 weeks, because finding out at 3 weeks, you literally knew you were pregnant the whole time you were pregnant. And like I said, when I first found out, it was just a sac, like the water or whatever. There was actually no fetus. And then once they found the fetus, there was no heartbeat for a while. And so if you are pregnant and they tell you that your baby doesn't have a heartbeat, I know that can be scary, but don't panic right off the jump. Because like I said, they told us that he didn't have a heartbeat. And he was also a preemie when I had him. And y'all see he's huge now. Look at that thigh. But yeah, so I had a really smooth pregnancy. From, like I said, it felt like it lasted forever just because I found out when I was only like 3 weeks. But I didn't have no problems. Well, I got pregnant in August, and in January, I guess I was like 5 months, close to 6 months in January. And they were saying that I wasn't gaining enough weight, meaning he wasn't gaining enough weight. But like I said, he's healthy now. And I'm guessing that could have been something wrong with my placenta, just because like since he's been on the outside, he's huge. And so I'm, he's not having any problems. I guess it was just something wrong with me. But yeah, when he was born on May 2nd. Best day of my life. I went into labor on May 1st around 4 o'clock. And that's a funny story too, because me and his dad had gotten into an argument. And I'm an only child, or I'm my mom's only child. So I was raised as the only child. So I'm spoiled. I'm used to getting what I want. And so I'm pretty sure that pregnancy was like rough for his dad too. Dealing with my attitude. I guess I can admit that. But the day I went to labor, we went to the doctor around 11 o'clock. And I was mad at him because my phone had broken. So, like, right now, I lost every picture I had from my pregnancy, unless it was on, like, Facebook or something like that. But, like, the more intimate or, like, the naked ones where you could just see, like, the shadow of my body and my baby bump, I lost all of those. But this phone came in that day, like the day I went into labor, that Monday, the 1st. And so I wanted to go to my mailbox and get the phone before we went to the doctor because I was going to get my membrane swept. And so I was worried that if I went to the doctor and got my membrane swept before I went to the mailbox and got my phone, like if I were to go into labor, and I knew that the way my school's mail thing works, they won't release mail to anybody but the person that the mail is supposed to go to. So if I were to go into labor, then they would not release the phone to him, and then I wouldn't get to take pictures of the baby when he came. Like, my son's dad said I live in a what-if world, and I guess I do, but when you're, like, as pregnant as I was, it doesn't matter. And so we didn't make it to the mailbox in time, and I didn't want to miss the doctor's appointment because I was so done with being pregnant. I wanted to get my membrane swept. I wanted to meet my baby. So we went to the doctor, got my membrane swept, and the doctor, so this was a Monday. I wasn't due till Sunday. And the doctor told us that he didn't think he was like, I don't think the baby's going to make it till Sunday, but I don't see him coming before like Wednesday or Thursday. So when we left the doctor's office, his dad was like, well, I think I'm going to go home because he was staying with me. But like I told you, tensions were high. I was so sick of being pregnant. It was just a lot. So he was like, he was going to go home for a couple of days, to his parents and just spend some time with his family. So, but he was going to go to the gym first and then leave from the gym to go home. So he went to the gym. Of course, I did not like that he was leaving, but he went to the gym And while he was at the gym, around like 4 o'clock, I started feeling like really bad. And so I call him and I'm like, hey, I think I'm going into labor. And he was like, no, you're not. You just don't want me to go home, which was so true. But y'all, I seriously was going through it. Like, I really was in labor. So he was like, you just don't want me to go home, yada, yada, yada. So he was like, fine, I'm coming back. So he came back and like literally, y'all, I was actually really in labor. Um, so I'm like, and I'm in a dorm, I'm in college. So I can't, how they tell you to like labor at home so you can be comfortable and, scream and stuff. Well, I'm in a dorm with like people my age. So I couldn't really like, scream and stuff. So I'm like, So finally we go to my car and, I labored in the car where I could just scream and stuff. Because, see, we watch The Office. If you are an Office fan, like and subscribe and comment. I love The Office. We love The Office. We're training him to be a little Officeite. I don't know if that's a word. But we watched The Office. And in The Office, Jim and Pam, they talk about how you don't need to go to the hospital till after midnight because this was around like 5-6 o'clock now. So if I would have went that day, then that would have counted as one of my 2 days that I could be in the hospital. And so we waited till midnight. So from 4 o'clock to midnight, I was just going through it, y'all. I was screaming. I was in pain. The baby was coming. It was just rough. So at midnight, we go to the hospital. And I remember we walked in and the lady, and I'm screaming like, I'm having a baby, I'm having a baby. Oh my God. It was just tough. And so the security guard was like, she looked at my son's dad and she was like, are you going to get her a chair? So my son's dad starts walking towards the waiting room to like grab me a chair. And she's like, no, a wheelchair. But y'all, he was so in debt. Like he was transforming into daddy mode. So his mind was just going. So he got me the wheelchair. We made it upstairs. They got me the epidural. I did get the epidural. I recommend the epidural. I haven't had no back problems, no other problem, no anything with the epidural. Different people have different experiences, but mine was positive. I didn't have any problems. But once they gave me that epidural, y'all, I was able to sleep. The only problem is they won't give you food. But I was able to sleep. It was lit. I would wake up and his dad would still be up, just like watching me. Like he was so anxious and he was excited. It was just so sweet. Like y'all, he didn't go to sleep until after our son was born. So that morning around like 5 o'clock, I called my mom because my mom had to be at work at 6. And so my son's dad and we wanted our birthing experience to just be the two of us. But at the same time, it was my parents' first grandchild, so I didn't want them to, like, feel completely left out. Plus, I knew my mom had to be at work at 6, and she works, like, 30 minutes from where she lives, so I didn't want her to drive all the way to work and then have to drive all the way back home, to drive all the way back up to Durham. So I saved her that little bit of gas. I'm all about a bargain. But anyway, so my son's dad had left to go take a shower, which I was on the epidural. This is around 9:45, 10 in the morning. My parents are on the way. My son's dad had left to go take a shower. I'm taking a nap. The doctor comes in and he's like, hey, I'm just going to check to see how far dilated you are. Y'all, he checked to see how far dilated I was. And he was like, all right, you're 10 centimeters. Let's start pushing. And I was like, I'm not pushing anything until my son's dad gets back. So when I tell y'all, I literally crossed my legs. I don't know if that works, but I knew one thing. He wasn't going to come through my crossed legs. So I called my son's dad, y'all. Bless his heart. I cussed him out for everything. I was like, where are you? You need to hurry back. You're about to miss the son's birth. You better not miss. Like, y'all, I feel bad now. I really do, because he's such a good dad to our son. Like, our relationship is not the best, but he's such a good dad to Prince. And so he got back, and literally when he got back, we started pushing. And then my mom walked in the room, and the second she walked in, Prince came out. So my mom literally got to see the birth. She just caught it, and then, his dad was there to see the birth. And then it was just, and our son was only 5 pounds. Y'all, my allergies our son was only 5 pounds. And his dad is big. His dad's like 220 pounds, 6'2", like he's a big guy. So he was so worried that he was gonna like break him or hurt him. And so I was like, no, you're gonna hold him. Y'all, my son's dad, he was like, the doctor was like, do you want to cut the umbilical cord? And he was looking like, I don't know. Because I guess that was a lot to like see a baby come out of me. And so I was like, if you don't get over there and cut that cord, because like, I didn't want him to look back like now and be like, man, I wish I had done that. And I also didn't want him to do that with somebody else's kid. You know what I'm saying? No. But anyway, he cut my son's cord, and then I held him, and then I let him hold him because he was like acting like he wasn't gonna hold him because he was so little. You was gonna hold him. So, but yeah, it was really, really sweet. Our son spent a week in the NICU, because like I said, he was only 5 pounds, so they consider him a preemie. But he had low sugar, and so since his sugar was low, they had to like hook him up to an IV in order to get him to eat and get bigger and to give him some calories. But yeah, that is my my poor baby. This is the first time he's been sick since I had him, and he's 6 months. But yeah, that is my birth story. I hope that you guys enjoy. I will add a few pictures for you guys to look at to help with the experience. Alrighty.